In this video, I'm going to show you how to create an assessment book using the iOS app on an iPad. This video follows on from how to create an assessment framework using the iOS app on an iPad. So I've opened up the Evidence for Learning app on my iOS device, and in this case, an iPad. And the first thing that I'm going to do is then tap on the cog at the top left. I'm then going to tap on Cloud Admin at the top right. You then enter in the Cloud Admin password and then tap Continue. So I'm then on the Cloud Admin menu. And if we scroll down, we can get to the Assessment section within the Cloud Admin menu. On a previous video and another video available within the EFL Online Resource Centre shows you how to make a continuum by first of all creating an aspect and then a schema. And there's also a video showing you how to create an assessment framework. This video is going to show you then how to create an assessment book linked to one of those assessment frameworks. So the first thing we're going to tap on is assessment books. This is the first assessment book that I'm going to create. So I'm going to press the plus at the top right to create a new one. So we're then on the assessment book settings page. The first thing we're going to do is to name the assessment book. So I just tap where it says new assessment book. And then where it says new assessment book, we can just delete that. And then you can just type in the name that you want the assessment book to be. In this case, I'm just going to paste it in to save time. But you can see I've named the assessment book. I've called it Blue Class because that's the class of the learners that are going to be within this assessment book. And it's linked to the ICANN statements, the PKS framework. So I've included the name of the group of the learners and the name of the framework. It's up to you how you want to order it at your school. I'm then going to tap Save at the top right. And the next thing I'm going to do is then tap on Set Learners for this assessment book. And then to select learners, I'm going to press the plus at the top right. I could then tap on all learners to select individual learners if that was appropriate for this assessment book. But in this case, this is for the whole of the Blue class. So I tap on Blue class. And to select all the learners in the Blue class, I can just use the multi-select box towards the top right. Once you tap on that, a tick will appear against all the learners within the group. And then to confirm that you want to select all the learners, you just tap Done at the top right. I then tap Assessment Book at the top left to return back to the Assessment Book settings page. I'm then going to tap on Set Permissions for this assessment book. So then you can see a list of all the assessment users and assessment managers that have been set up. If I use an assessment manager, that will be displayed under the name, as in this case for myself, Blake Perry, and therefore assessment managers don't need to be given permission to access a specific assessment book because assessment managers automatically have permission to access all assessment books. So you can see Bob, Nicola and Jane are all assessment users, and therefore if any of them need to have access to the assessment book, then they need to be set. So in this case, I'm going to tap on Bob and on Jane's name. A tick appears on the right-hand side to indicate they've been selected, and then I tap Done at the top right. If at any point you realise you've made a mistake, say I want to remove Bob's access, I could always swipe left on his name and then tap Delete on the right-hand side. If I wanted to add other members of staff to give them access, I again could press the plus at the top right to repeat the process. But for now, I'm now going to tap an assessment book at the top left. And we're again back on the assessment book settings page. And then we're going to tap on Set Assessment Items for this assessment book, which is at the very bottom. In this school, I've only got one assessment framework. You may have more assessment frameworks by this time, so it is worth taking the time to make sure that you're linking the assessment book with the assessment framework that you want to. So I'm going to tap on the assessment framework that I want to link this assessment book to. Depending on the structure of the assessment framework, you may just want to select certain items to include. And then you just tap on the items that you wanted to include in the assessment book, and you could tap Save at the top right. In this example, I actually want to include all the outcomes within the assessment book. So I'm going to switch on multi-select towards the top left. So just tap on the button. Once it's on, it's switched to the right and turns green. And then I just tap anywhere on the screen, and then all the items that are selected will go orange. And it is worth just scrolling down through the framework just to make sure that all the items that you did want to include have all turned orange. As you can see, these items are still green, and I do want to include them in the assessment book. So I just tap on the item again, or one of the items again, and all those items within that area will turn orange. So once you've gone to the bottom of the framework and you've checked that all the items that you want to now include in this assessment book have become orange, you then tap Save at the top right. You'll then be brought back to the assessment book settings page. And we've now named the assessment book. We've added the learners into this specific assessment book. We've set the permissions in terms of which assessment users can access the assessment book. And we've selected the items to include in the assessment book. So the final thing then to do is to set it live. So you tap where it says status draft. And as you can see, the status is now live, and that's also indicated with a green circle to the left. So we can now tap on assessment book's top left. So I've now made that assessment book for the blue class. I could repeat the process and create another assessment book for another class by tapping on the plus at the top right, or I can tap on Cloud Admin top left to return back to the Cloud Admin menu. As ever, always feel free to get in touch if you've got any questions or you'd like any help. You can email us at services@theteachercloud.net. For information on how you can connect with the hundreds of practitioners who are using evidence for learning, please visit our website for further information, and that is www.evidenceforlearning.net.